Hi, I'm Rishi. Welcome to my YouTube astrology channel. I have been studying astrology for over 20 years and have been on the internet for about as long. So this is something I should have done a long time ago. But now is as good a time as any to start because there are changes taking place in the cosmic energy of the universe that are going to shake you up and impact your life in more ways than you can know. Rahu transits into Gemini and Ketu transits into Sagittarius on the 23rd of March 2019. And I am here to help you understand how these major transits are going to affect your life. Rahu and Ketu are considered two extremely important planets of Indian astrology. They are nodes of the moon, and they are not always understood by Western astrologers. But we believe that they are amongst the most powerful planets of Indian astrology because they alone have the ability in the horoscope to eclipse both sun and moon. Sun is considered the king of the horoscope and moon is the queen. And these two planets are the only ones with the energy to neutralize both sun and moon. In Indian astrology, we do not look at transits around sun signs. We study transits relative to the birth position of moon. So we look at where moon is placed in your natal horoscope, and we try and understand the impact of the transits around that position of moon. Every planet impacts the house it sits in as well as the house it aspects. And every house of the horoscope refers to a very specific and unique part of your life and your destiny. And there are certain houses where certain planets function well and other houses in which they don't function so well. So when we look at this aspect of Rahu and Ketu, we're going to see what houses they transit in relative to your birth moon and what houses they aspect. So I'm going to be looking at all 12 moon signs and I'm going to help you understand how these transits, Rahu into Gemini and Ketu into Sagittarius, are going to affect your life in the next 18 months. If moon is placed in Scorpio in your horoscope, then Rahu's transit is going to be 8th from your natal moon. Now the 8th house of the horoscope is not considered the most favorable house of the horoscope. Some astrological texts refer to it as the house of death. I don't see it as the house of death per se, but I definitely see it as a house of considerable difficulties. Rahu is a worldly planet. Rahu is a planet of delusion. Rahu is a planet of change. Rahu creates unsettlement. When Rahu transits through the 8th house, it's likely to create a fair amount of disturbance in your life. So the next 18 months is a period where you need to be very watchful and very careful and very measured in all your actions and your reactions. Rahu is also going to aspect the 12th house from your natal moon, and the 12th house is the house of difficulties, it's the house of struggles, it's the house of litigation, it's the house of enemies. We've seen that its placement 8th from moon is likely to create troubles for this horoscope. And how it's going to create trouble is it's going to create enemies, it's going to create a sense of dissatisfaction with your social environment. You're just going to feel very hemmed in, you're going to feel very restricted, and so you're going to sort of lash out in ways that are not wise or appropriate. That's going to create a lot of problems in your professional and social environment. Things have been difficult for a horoscope that has moon in Scorpio for the last 5 years at least. You have been feeling restricted and you have been feeling chained through this period. And that entire idea is going to be promoted by the transit of Rahu 8th from your natal moon. So you need to be careful and you need to be watchful. Rahu is also going to be aspecting the house 4th from your natal moon. Now the 4th house refers to your home environment, also the house from where the extent of happiness that you experience can be seen. It's the Sukh Sthan of the horoscope. Rahu is creating disturbance, it's creating change, it's creating a feeling of being unsettled. So it's going to create a feeling of being unsettled even in your home environment. It's going to create trouble in your personal life. You're going to feel dissatisfied. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to feel content. You will feel that you are very restricted and you're not able to express yourself, and you're going to want change. But this change is not a great idea for this horoscope, because this change is essentially going to be change that is going to lead to despair in the times ahead. So you need to be very careful and very watchful and very thoughtful about every action that you take. Along with this transit of Rahu through Gemini, we also have the transit of Ketu through Sagittarius. Sagittarius is second from your natal moon. So Ketu is going to be transiting second from your natal moon. The second house is considered to be the house of money, of wealth. It's your bank balance. It's your fiscal and financial health and well-being. Ketu doesn't do very well in the house of wealth because Ketu is naturally a spiritual planet. It's a mokshkari graha. It's a planet of salvation. It's a planet of liberation. Sitting in the house of wealth, which is a very worldly construct, Ketu tends to feel uncomfortable. So Ketu is not going to do particularly well. It's not going to promote the materialistic aspects of this horoscope. It's not going to help you gain a tremendous amount of wealth or money over the next 18 months. Ketu also aspects the house 5th from where it sits, and 5th from where it sits is the 6th house of this horoscope. The 6th house is considered to be the house of enemies. It's the house of litigation. It's the house of conflict. It's the house of competition. Ketu is not going to help in any of these factors. So we've seen that Rahu is creating disturbance. It's creating a sense of dissatisfaction. Ketu is going to promote that. Ketu creates disturbances related to the nature of the 5th house. So you could end up creating enemies for no real reason. You could end up in conflict situations that you never intended to be in. You could end up facing some sort of litigation that is going to cause trouble in the next 18 months. So this is something that you need to be very watchful of. Ketu also aspects the 10th house, which is the house of profession. It's the house of the father as well. And we've seen that Ketu is not particularly favorably inclined for this horoscope. Rahu is creating change. It's creating a feeling of being unsettled. Ketu is going to do the same. And it's going to do it related to your work environment. So you could end up feeling disturbed at work. You could end up feeling unsettled there. There could be unnecessary conflicts. There could be a sense of being detached from your entire professional setup. You could feel isolated, alienated, marginalized in some way, discriminated against. And honestly, all of these things will not necessarily be true. A lot of it could just be how you are feeling or reacting to fairly harmless situations. So knowing about it will help you prepare for it. Do not feel unduly perturbed or disturbed or upset, because there is really no reason to feel that way. It's just how the planets are playing you, but it's not how things are going to be forever. In any case, this is a transit just for 18 months. And if you're able to understand the lesson that is embedded in this transit, you will come out of this richer, more patient, more calm, and really a much better version of yourself. So there's nothing to feel concerned about. This is an opportunity for you to grow. I would like to mention that these are the results that you can expect due to the transit of Rahu and Ketu into these new signs. But there are 7 other planets that are transiting in the universe at the same time. We have to study those results as well. And we have to study the nature of your individual horoscope, how the planets are positioned there, their relationship with each other, before we can get a complete picture of what can be expected in your life. However, I feel reasonably certain that the results that I have spoken of just now are the circumstances that will attempt to manifest in your lives over the next 18 months as a result of Rahu's transit through Gemini and Ketu's transit through Sagittarius. Thank you for watching my video. I look forward to hearing your comments and suggestions, as well as your ideas about what I should do in other videos that I'm planning up ahead. Do write to me.